Hello, Dan and Eshan. I hope I've pronounced your name right, mate. If I haven't, I do apologise. First off, please excuse my low-level energy demeanour. I've just come back from a 4-day speaking event and I've had all sorts of things go on and I'm just tired, right? So, yeah, please excuse the energy. I'm going to try to go over each of the aspects of our infrastructure in as much detail as possible. It's a big move, and like we've been building out different infrastructure for such a long time, trying to tie all these different technologies together and make them all work in a harmonious balance. And during like the years, we've probably lost track of certain things, and it's a mess, which is why I want to bring it all into one platform. And I'm hoping high level will be that platform. I'm hoping it's capable of doing everything all in one place, rather than us have to use a different cart software, to a different course platform, to a different email automation, to ManyChat, and all of these things that are all trying to work together, and they always cause us dramas because they're different softwares, right? So let's start with number one. We don't have Webinar Kit, we have EverWebinar, but I noticed that Webinar Kit has a native plugin to high level. So I'm not opposed to changing over. Like, Webinar Kit's actually cheaper anyway. And if it does the same things as EverWebinar, then absolutely, right? So that will be part of the tech stack. Now, just let me pull the tech stack up one sec. Okay. So this is the tech stack that we want to end up with, right? High level for our funnels, emails, messenger chat, and whatnot. Webinar Kit for the webinars, Hyros for our ads, and Social Pilot, which is our organic social scheduling. So these two aren't really relevant to you, but that's what we want to have at the end of the day, just like a 4-platform tech stack that works together, right? Because it's just unbelievably all over the place at the moment. I've spoke to Go High Level, and they say, I noticed that you mentioned here about the API. They say that actually all of these have a one-click integration, right? Are they correct? I don't know. Like, look, some people say one thing when you talk to them from that platform, and others say another. But they did say that if worst case scenario, you could connect all this through an API and get it all into their platform that way, like you've mentioned here. But they have assured me, and I have spoke to a few people, that they all have the one-click integration, like, because most of our stuff is on WordPress, and WordPress apparently can integrate with them, and you can just copy everything over, and then you just need to make sure all the nuts and bolts are actually working. So that was the one that I was mainly worried about, because of course they have a one-click integration with ManyChat and ActiveCampaign and the main platforms. But I wasn't sure about WordPress. I knew they had one with ClickFunnels, but they assure me that they do. And it won't be necessary to use the API integration. So that's just something to think about. So yeah, we don't have Webinar Kit, but we would get it. Now let's jump over to our EverWebinar. So this is our EverWebinar, and this is our main webinar, right? We have two. This one here is like a mini webinar that we've just put out, but it's not really running yet. But we'll need both of them built into Webinar Kit with all of the same attributes. So this one is like a scheduling webinar that they choose their schedule based on these dates. Now, this one is a just-in-time webinar. I'm pretty sure that Webinar Kit is capable of both. If it's not, please let me know. The main thing is, I believe, really, like, it needs to be set up identically. So all the call to actions and everything in the live, right? And look, this is where it gets a little complicated, because our waiting room page, we use the EverWebinar page. We just have our opt-in page on our own funnel, right? So I'm not sure. What we were going to do recently was use our own opt-in, our own waiting room page, because we wanted to also give them the capability to get reminders for the webinar on ManyChat, and the only way to do that was send data. This is what I'm talking about. Send data from EverWebinar through to ActiveCampaign. So we had to link up ActiveCampaign to EverWebinar, which means that our notification emails were going to come from ActiveCampaign and not EverWebinar. And then from ActiveCampaign, we needed to link that, we needed to send that data to a Google Doc, and then from a Google Doc, we needed to extract it to ManyChat. So then we could go ahead and give them reminders for the webinar. But I'm hoping with Go High Level, we don't need to do that. I'm hoping because it has a native connection with Webinar Kit, that we'll be able to use their messenger software to send those reminders via email, right, as well, through their email system, and then also to their straight to Facebook Messenger, and even maybe phone or whatever else, right? So if that's possible, please let me know, and then we don't have to do these crazy things like link up to ActiveCampaign and Google Docs and extract from Google Docs into ManyChat, right? I'd prefer not to do that. There's so much room for things to go wrong, and it's been super complicated. And even like the experts I have working on it, they're still trying to figure it all out, right? It's just, it's a nightmare. So yeah, we could just use Webinar Kit waiting rooms. I'm guessing they have them, yeah. If they don't, please let me know. Rather than make our own waiting room with our own funnels and all that. It's just easier. The countdown's there, all the text there. It's not going to break. So the main thing here is notifications, of course, like what we just discussed, and then integrations, right? So we integrate with ActiveCampaign at the moment, which would create rules, and these rules would be very important still to set up in Webinar Kit, to funnel through to high-level email, the high-level email system, whatever that may be called. At the moment, it's connected to ActiveCampaign, as you can see. So these rules would all need to be copied over and active, right? Without ActiveCampaign, of course, straight into high level. So that's really it for here. It's not super complicated. We just need to make sure that the waiting room and everything's good, the rules are good, and we can also send data from Webinar Kit to the messenger software inside of high level to be able to send reminders that way as well. The more reminders, the better, of course. So we really want to send them through Facebook Messenger, and that's why we got ManyChat and tried to do all this integration nightmare. All right, let's move on to the next one, ActiveCampaign automation. So let's take you through what we have. By the way, if you need any accesses to any of this to have a look yourself, let me know. And I will organize that for you. Just Eshan, let me know your email address or whatever it may be, so I can give you these accesses, right? Okay, ActiveCampaign. Now, with ActiveCampaign, we have a few flows here. So our main flows work off this brain flow, and this is when people register for our webinar, they get sent here, right, into the brain flow, or sequence, they call it on ActiveCampaign, flow sequence. So essentially what happens here is they get registered, they get tags. So these tags would all need to be replicated as well. Like, obviously everything in these flows would need to be replicated on the other end. Tags, the lot, right? Every email and everything. So it's essentially like they come in here and based on their tags, they get sent through the flow. If they've been in the webinar before, they go down this route. If they haven't, they go here, they get their welcome email. They come over here after watching the webinar. We find out if the tags were added through EverWebinar, which would be Webinar Kit here. If they attended, yep. If they didn't, they go into the missed webinar sequence. If they did attend, we see if they saw the offer, which is also added in EverWebinar. I should have just left this open. Saw offer tag, right? And if they have saw the offer, they'll go into our sales sequence. If they haven't, they'll go into our left early sequence. So mainly, like from the webinar sequence perspective, there's the brain that runs it all, and then there's the missed sequence, left early sequence, and sales sequence. That's pretty much it, right? And then we have just some other sequences set up that would have to come over as well. These like ManyChat ones, they wouldn't, like email, the pre-webinar email automation. This is like these are the ones that were set up here, like these ManyChats, right? And pre-reminder were set up to link EverWebinar to ActiveCampaign, so we could send out email reminders here and then be able to extract them with ManyChat. You know, I'll show it to you just so you're aware of what I'm talking about. Extract them with into a Google Doc or Google Sheet, I should say, and then we're able to access this sheet through ManyChat and take the data we require. So if you can achieve that without having to do all of this nonsense, then these ones don't need to come over, right? Our purchase sequence does. So if anyone purchases, this is the sequence they get. And these are pretty straightforward sequences, and they should be just, you know, plug and play, right? It's essentially like unsubscribes them from other lists and stuff, so they don't get all of our marketing materials and whatnot. And then it's just like the modules that they go through. We give a book review reminder service as well. But like everything would have to be active, and links and everything would have to work inside of these sequences. And one question for you, like everyone who's already queued in here and everything, would that come over? How's that work? Or do we just let everything run its... See, it's a little difficult to let everything run its course and then new people start over there because of this sequence, our nurture sequence, which I'll show you next. This is where we have everyone, and it's a never-ending sequence, right? There's our missed webinar. These sequences would need to come over as well. They're turned off at the moment, but these are our, when we do our Black Friday sales, these sequences become active again. Yeah. So all of this would have to come over. This one, I mean, yeah, bring it over, because if we do sales calls again, and there's our sales sequence. So where is our nurture sequence? I must have missed it. Sorry, man, this video is going to be pretty long. I apologize. Audience nurture. Sequence, it's a never-ending sequence. Everyone comes in here that goes right through all of our other sequences and still don't buy, right? This is where they end up, and there's a lot of people in here, so this is where it might be a bit difficult. We need to carry those people over to the same place where they are in this sequence, because these never end. As we put out new content, you'll see down the bottom here, we've got 7,000 people just waiting here for 10 years. But what we'll do is, as we put out new content, we'll add a new email in here. We'll change this to deliver immediately, and we'll put a wait for 10 years at the end there again, right? So, yeah, that's a question for you. Are we capable of doing that? Okay, that's pretty much ActiveCampaign. So ManyChat flows. Now, So we have old stuff that's not really of any consequence. Our paid ManyChat flows, which is the flows that we're trying to build out, right, in order to send reminders for people who've registered for the webinar. So there's all different flows in here, see reminders that we've set up. Everything there works except for there's just a problem with linking up the email sequence to remind them. So we can get ManyChat to work and send reminders, but when we're trying to get the email to send them, some of the data wasn't coming over correctly from EverWebinar, and it's causing dramas, and ActiveCampaign don't know why it's happening, and no one knows why it's happening, and so it's all just sort of sitting there at the moment. So these are our paid ones. So these would need to be replicated over in Go High Level, and these are our organic flows. So these are very, very important. So when we put out content on social media, for example, sometimes we will say, would you like our customer avatar documentation or training, right? And in these flows, you'll see the user sends a direct message to us with the word avatar, and off the flow goes, we deliver the assets to them. And then again, it's very similar to ActiveCampaign. Once they go through, like, the aim is to get them into the webinar, and then after the webinar, if they haven't purchased, we'll check that based on a tag. And yeah, so here they go to the webinar. Yeah, so we can actually register them for the webinar in the chat sequence as well. So that would have to be copied over if that's possible. Hopefully it is. I don't know the extent of what's possible with Go High Level products, right? So I'm hoping you guys as experts could tell me that as well. That would need to come over, and after they've seen the webinar, so it goes through this flow, right? Well, I think this is the flow that sends them the reminders. Yes, this is the flow that sends them the reminders. And after they've been sent the reminders and they see the webinar, if they don't see the webinar or they do see the webinar, they will be sent to this flow, I do believe. And here's where we check if they watched the webinar or if they didn't, right? And if they didn't, they'll be sent back through the reschedule flow. If they purchased, they'll be sent to the purchase flow. Very similar to ActiveCampaign, right? The way that it's working. And if they didn't purchase, they end up in the nurture flow, very similar to ActiveCampaign, which is the more resources flow in this instance. And this is a flow that never ends, just like our nurture flow. New content comes out, we add it in, right? And you'll see this is a massive flow. But it's literally like copy paste, right? Just with different content in there. And right throughout, we're checking if they actually, we're adding tags, but we're also checking if they actually purchased at any stage. And if they did, we stop the automation or the flow. So yeah, that's basically ManyChat. Hopefully that can all just come over and work, like with their one-click setup. Now let's look at our funnel website pages. And our domains, right? So our domains are, oh, this is not the one. Our domains are with crazy domains, and I think you'll just have to need to add in a DNS or something like that. No big drama there. So I can give you access to this crazy domains where our domains are hosted, and the only thing is, like, be very careful with them, because we have our domains pointed using different A records and different things, C names to different places, but it would still be possible to, of course, just add in a DNS or something to point it, or a name server, I should say, to also point it at Go High Level. Now, everything is built out on WordPress and with Thrive, because Thrive products are what we've used for years and years and years, but they're just becoming an absolute headache. I love them because they're so customizable, but just a massive headache, right? Things just sometimes don't work, and it's a nightmare. I just want things to be smooth and run smooth and not have to deal with customers hitting me up all the time saying, I can't log in today, or there's this problem, a catching problem, or whatever it is. It's always taking up my time, which I don't want to happen any further into the future. So let's take a look at our funnel pages first. Okay, they're all built with Thrive Architect. Apologize, guys. I'm just absolutely destroyed. Okay, so we've got some categories here. Some of these won't even need to come over, like the beta funnel. That's an old funnel. These will. See, these are forwarding pages, so they're actually just dummy pages used to forward URL addresses. This lead magnet probably won't need to come over. Legal will. Don't think those two. Now the core funnel, this is the core part of it. The core funnel and on-demand funnel, absolutely, and the website pages. So some of these maybe not. I mean, if it's not a big drama, probably just bring them all so they're there if we need to use them in the future. But if it's a big drama or it takes too much more time, we can scrap some of these, okay? So just let me know on that one. But these three right here are the main ones. So let's, this is old, it needs updating, but let's just take a look at the core funnel. And the legal, like, pages and stuff as well definitely need to come over. Yeah, it's really old. It's not even really a funnel, is it? Well, I haven't looked at this in a long time. Okay, let's just take a look at it. These are like objection handling pages. Rubbish pages. Wouldn't even really bother with it, to be honest. We were running such a simple funnel back then, like mainly everything happened via email and setting up the core and the calendar. But this funnel's much more complex. This is the main one that we're using right now. So we have our landing pages. This one, anything that's private is actually switched off at the moment. So we might not even need to bring these over, but this is the one that we're currently running. So see, it's an Ever Webinar landing page. So it means it has the Ever Webinar. I'll show you, I'll just go to it. This is an Ever Webinar embedded button. And when you click on it, it opens the Ever Webinar form. So these are the things that are a little bit more complexities in there that we would have to embed, I guess, the Webinar Kit one. I'm not familiar with Webinar Kit Tech. It might not even have a form that I can embed. I don't know, but we'll need to find a solution for that either way. So this is like the webinar showed you where you can choose your time, okay? And this is the funnel page. Again, these are all embedded. This is embedded from our Trustpilot profile. And this is like not a video, right? This is a GIF. So many people get that mixed up. That's why I put this here and the form. Okay, so essentially, like, it would just need to be cloned over there. Now, that's the landing page. Forget what I put, FW. Oh, full webinar. So this is Ever Webinar full webinar, and this is Ever Webinar micro webinar landing page. Because I showed you over here in the webinars that we haven't even run this thing yet, but we have this micro webinar and the full webinar. Okay, so that's what that is. And then our registration complete page. They're very simple pages again. Just I'll quickly open them all to show you. Now this one we actually set up, right? It's not active. This would be the waiting room if we were to go that route, right? So I built this one, but I never ever ran it. That's why this just got a placeholder video sitting in here, right? I never ran it, and I don't really want to have to. I would prefer to have a waiting room. It should be called waiting room. That is connected with the webinar software itself to not have to worry about countdowns being correct and accurate and all of that stuff and embedding things and all of that nonsense. This again, it's an old webinar room. We used to run a webinar room on our page, on our actual website, so that doesn't really need to come over anymore. Webinar room replay. I don't think this one's active either. It should be on private, I believe. That was the replay for this one. And this one is what they go to after the webinar to choose the payment. It's very simple again. Very, very simple. Just choose a payment option, right? That's that. Yeah, so this is the page I set up so we could get people to sign up to be alerted for the webinar. This is the page I would go to before the waiting room, after signing up to the webinar, so they can be alerted on ManyChat, right? Now, we need to sort of replicate this with the software on high level that works with Messenger, whatever that software is. So it would be like sign up to the webinar, land on a page, or a pop-up just happens after they sign up on the page they're currently on, whatever, where they get the option to be reminded in Messenger as well as their email, because they've already signed up. It's already in the email sequence. They're going to get those reminders of the webinar there, but we would prefer to also have them have this option, and then they go to the waiting room, and that's really the process. So these are order pages: full payment, payment plan, and PayPal credit, and payment plan. These three, they're all the same except for they just have different carts in them, right? And these are the carts, like each product in Thrive Cart has a cart, right? So this one here is, that's a different service. I would also need, I guess, to bring all the products from Thrive Cart over to high level cart as well. But our three main products here are this is a VSL. Yeah, VSL landing, on the VSL landing page. But here, so PayPal credit, I believe, or pay plan. Sorry, this is pay plan, payment plan, right? This one here is full price, and on the next page there's the PayPal credit one, and that just goes with these three. Now I'll show you one of them. They're all the same except for, like I said, payment plan and PayPal credit. The cart's just loading here, which I don't like that it takes time to load. People would have already scrolled down. But this is an embedded cart from Thrive Cart. Okay. And these are the longer form sort of salesy pages. Embedded videos. There is something on this page I need to ask about. If it is on this page. Course curriculum. Yeah. So because I'm with Thrivecart, right, I can put a widget in there that, not Thrivecart, Thrive Themes, that shows the course curriculum. Is this duplicatable through high level? Because our course will be on high level and our funnel pages will be on high level, because this is on all of our sales pages to show the curriculum. And when we update any part of our course, it automatically updates here, which is handy. So that's a question. Then we've got FAQs, right? So these are all created like this. Hopefully this can be just copied over. And that's it. This will just, when we click on here, okay, it didn't work. It should take me to the card. None of them are working. That's not good. See what I mean? Always issues. Nothing changed on here. It's a jump link, so it should take us straight back to this card. I'll have to look at that. Alright, so all those pages are the same. Order confirmation, it's a very simple order confirmation page. We have different ones for full payment or payment plan confirmations, because they got to be tracked differently in Facebook, right? Then our VSL, so sales VSL. See, we also have split tests on these, and I'm hoping they can be copied over as well. And the data. I'm not sure how split tests work over there at high level. So it's again, it's the same page, right, as before, except for it has a VSL at the top. And this VSL is the micro webinar. So we're like testing it as a direct VSL page as well.
All right, just about ready to get started.
And there's that function too. I don't think we've run any traffic to this just yet. The sales page is the same. Like all these sales pages are the same. This is the sales page though for our email flows, because it has a countdown on it, right? So that's the only difference. This page is a standalone sales page, so it's been operating pretty much as a VSL up until this point. And then in our funnel, we have like very simple one video pages with a bit of text under them that handle objections, frequently asked questions, give a final offer, another objection. And they're all sent there via our active campaign sequences, right? Case study, frequently asked questions, behind the scenes, get over fears. These are all like single video, very, very simple pages. But they do need to be linked. Like when we set up the email system, if it's a different URL, hopefully it's not, because we can use crazy domains and the same URL. But if it is a different URL for whatever reason on high level, these will all need to be updated in our sequences here. And then we've got like a didn't buy survey. So with Thrive products, there's lead surveys and quiz builders and stuff. So hopefully that can also be duplicated, because these surveys carry a lot of data in them that we look at on an ongoing basis to see why people didn't buy, and to see people who did buy why they did buy, right? Why they didn't buy and why they did buy, essentially. So that is our funnel, our main funnel. Let's just have a look at the website. There's not a whole great lot in here. We might as well just go to the front end. Again, it's quite simple. Reviews. This goes to our this page. I'm having a mental blank that I showed you before. The funnel page, the opt-in page. Reviews, blog, and contact us, right? Our blog is quite substantial and we're constantly always adding new content there. So the blog will need to also carry over to high level. But again, it's not like, I don't know, there should be an image here. It's loading slow. It's not like a super over complex page, right? Stuff, couple quotes, some reviews here, video reviews that come in a lightbox window. And that's that. Alright, so that pretty much covers our funnels and all our web pages. What's next? Okay, the online course itself. This one there might be some issues with, hopefully not. So it's in Thrive Apprentice, also hosted on WordPress. This is the course here. So the main thing is, a lot of these courses don't have like home pages, and our home page is very important to us because we have a page. There's a page where all our courses are listed, and then this is pretty regular for most course platforms. You'll have like multiple courses listed. Some will have, like, depending on your access level and what you've purchased, you have access to different courses as a student. And then when you click the course, it'll go straight to the first lesson, right? But when we click our course, it goes to like a somewhat of a home page, which instructs people on how to go about learning our course, what they need to sign up to go sign up to our Discord and our coaching service and all that. And that's very important to us. So hopefully High Level can do that, or we can duplicate it in some way. Now I'm just going to show it to you. And this is another reason why I really liked Thrive products for so long, because they're so, you can do so many look at this, see, you can do so many things. It's so customizable. This is what people see when they haven't signed up to the course, right? But I am logged in, so I should be actually seeing logged in. This is what I'm saying. Like, there's bugs in it, man, and no one can seem to fix it. No one understands it shouldn't be happening, because I'm already logged in. Yeah, obviously I should be seeing the logged in page. So it works in modules, right? You have these, you got lessons, you got modules, lessons, assignments, chapters that go inside of a module. So usually it's a module, a chapter, a lesson, and assignments inside lessons. But we don't have any chapters, so I wouldn't even worry about that. We have module, lessons, and where we were looking at building assignments, which we don't have yet. Hopefully High Level has something like that, so we can really drive home the knowledge into the students. This would be a very good asset to our company. So some of these modules are switched off at the moment. They haven't been built, or we're looking at building them in the future. But all of it would need to come over, right? Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and everything inside of each module. See, we've got lessons, right? Also, there's the drip feed aspect of it. So we want to drip certain content to people. So hopefully High Level, we haven't got that set up yet, but that's something we're going to do in the future. When we bring in our ad strategies, we don't want people running ads straight off the bat, right? So we want to drip that to them. And there's a course completion certificate. See, this should be active, and it's not. This is why I'm switching over, man. I am in the right course, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Strange indeed. Alright, let's just take a look at what the course looks like. So, on the school homepage, see, it doesn't display it. It's not displaying the homepage. This is not good. It should look like this. Damn, not good at all. It means my students aren't seeing what they need to be seeing. They're seeing the logged out, because there's two ways you can actually display content, and you'll see it's gone. Whoa. Whoa. It's called conditional display somewhere here, and there was two conditions set here. There was where it had logged in display and logged out display, and everything for logged in seems to be gone. I'm an idiot. I just figured out why. We're in the wrong freaking course. My apologies, man. Like, everything I just said still stands, right? But I'm going to be able to show you the logged in page and stuff now. It's gone because we're in the old course. What an idiot. Told you I was tired, man. Okay, now let's have a look. This is what the course looks like. Conditional display. Right, so watch this first. This is what I was talking about, where our clients will land. So they go to, when we have multiple courses, which we will at some point, they'll go to the school home and it'll have the multiple courses. When they click on the course that they actually have access to, this one, it'll bring them here to the home page. Now, most platforms don't have this home page, and we need to somehow duplicate this because there's some steps they need to take. They need to watch this video, and then they need to take our survey, which is part of our funnels, right? Our survey that I showed you before. They need to join our coaching Discord. They need to join our Facebook group. They need to download Microsoft Word. They can optionally buy this software. That's an affiliate for us. They need to download this free software and leave a review for us, and also they can join the Authors Alliance if they so choose to. Then after that, they will come up here and third, begin the training, and they just go through each module, each lesson. Also, these lessons, actually it's not, let's go to an actionable lesson. Let's try this one. 99% video lessons, right? And they just have content under them and resources. So let's find something that's actually got some resources under it. So we will have like notes, and hopefully all this can be copied over to high level, different video embeds, different stuff, and then some resources down the bottom, right? as well as some other downloadable assets and whatnot. And these should be clickable. They're jump links going to different trainings that are sort of updates to these. So most of our lessons look like this. Okay, I'm pretty sure that covers all of our course. Oh, members. Hopefully we can carry all of our members over, all of their logins, and everything can stay the same. Please let me know if this is possible. I don't want to have to really do this manually and send out manual emails, new logins, and all of that stuff. So the whole profile of our members can hopefully come over, and also like their progress, right? Which is pretty important, especially to them, what they've done, what they haven't done. So let me know if that's possible as well, please. And if it is, we need that done. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Yeah, so that's it. I'm so sorry for how long this video was, but it has to be pretty in-depth, right? So you understand what's happening. The other thing I will add is our Stripe and PayPal will need, and everything from Thrivecart, Stripe and PayPal, so our sales end of the funnel will need to be put into high levels checkout system, whatever that is, and linked, and products created, and then those products or carts will need to be linked to our sales pages in high level as well. Okay, and that's pretty much it, my friends. So I apologize again for the long video. I'm going to jump off now so it doesn't drag on any longer. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you need any accesses, please let me know, and let's get a price on the table and make a move on this. Thank you.